Hello and welcome to a Grow Skills webinar. I am going to apologise in advance in case my dog barks. And for those of you that don't know me, my name's Hannah Weinhold and I'm a director of GrowTraffic, and I have been doing search engine optimization for about 5 years now, and I've reached a level where I'm fairly expert, relatively speaking. So I am going to take you through today. Today's webinar is about optimizing a web page. So I'm going to share a presentation which will kind of show you why you need to do it, how it helps, and then I'm going to take you through the kind of nitty gritty of optimizing a web page. If you are watching this afterwards through the newsletter, if you want to find crib sheets on this, you can go onto the Grow Skills website, grow-skills.co.uk, where there'll be checklists, crib sheets, infographics on how to do this. So you don't have to remember it all now. But essentially, optimizing a web page is quite an easy process. It really is just a tick box exercise. And as long as you're kind of getting a thoughtful keyword in the right places, then you'll be doing a good job. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to share the presentation. Here we go. Okay, so I wanted to start off by telling you kind of why we optimize a web page, why it's important. So when you upload a web page, the bots, the Google bots, the spider bots, they crawl that web code. So remember, they're crawling the code. And I know it's like, it seems stupid to say, oh, the internet is made up of code, but it's easy to overlook. And then they index that site based on what they think that web page is about. So they put it in a massive filing cabinet, essentially. Then when somebody types a query in, the bots super fast search that index and return the best answers to that query. So if you're not optimizing a web page, and this goes for blogs as well, then you're not telling the bots what the web page is about. So that's why it's really important that we optimize a web page. I talk a lot about SEO being a triad. So there's essentially 3 parts to SEO, and it's not hierarchical. There's no more important part than another. They're all important. So web content answers people's queries. Your content marketing is a really pivotal point of SEO, of getting your website. And if we think about SEO in like the kind of end goal, getting your website higher up Google, higher up the rankings. So it's answering people's queries. You need to be able to give an answer to people, whatever stage of the buyer journey they're in. That's why content marketing is so important. That's why Google places such an emphasis on quality content. Then there's the technical SEO and offsite SEO. So offsite SEO, this is kind of adding yourself to directories, having a presence across social media that people are engaging with, having other people linking back to your content and kind of citing it as a useful resource, as a kind of resource that actually answers questions that people are asking, and it's authoritative. And then you've got the technical side of SEO. And technical, without getting too technical, it's got on-page and off-page SEO. So we're looking at on-page today because it's on your web page. It's that simple. But it makes sense to the Google bots. So it makes your website crawlable. It means that the bots can understand what it's about. It makes it easy for Google. So we are talking today about the technical SEO side. So your web page, for it to be considered good content, which Google does have a kind of system to decide whether or not your content is quality or not, it looks at whether or not you've got a keyword in it, whether or not you've got a subheading, if the paragraphs are short, or if you've got huge chunks of text. If it's over 300 words, if your web pages are coming in at about 100 words, then Google are going to go, how quality can that really be? How much can you really tell somebody? How much information can you really give on a 100-page website? 100-word web page. Has it got images and icons on? Because we're humans, we respond well to pretty pictures. And has it got calls to action on? Are you actually trying to push people through to somewhere else? So you're giving them a reason to pick up the phone and contacting you. And then there's one missing there, which would be internal links. So are you linking to other parts of your web page, of your website? There's always a push and pull between, I want it to look pretty, I want it to be really simple. My web designer says less is more. I like the pared back look. and SEO people going, get your content on, make it banging, make it good sales content, but have plenty on there, answer all the questions. So I think somewhere in the middle. So the first thing that you need to do when you're writing a web page is pick a keyword. Now, you don't want it to be too generic, and you don't want it to be too competitive, and you definitely don't want ambiguity. So as an example, I've used blogging here as a keyword. Now, blogging is not a good keyword. I mean, it's all right. I suppose you would have it as a primary keyword, but you would definitely expect some semantics and some long tail keywords to support that. And if you don't know what the heck I'm talking about, have a little look at some of the other webinars we've done, because we've talked about choosing keywords. But blogging, Google doesn't understand what I mean by the word blogging. It, you know, am I talking about blogging platforms? Am I talking about blogging for beginners? Am I trying to get a definition? Am I trying to get a job? I don't know what blogging the boys is, but it's obviously something. Am I looking for courses or ideas? You know, what is it that I want? Like, it doesn't understand my intent with the keyword blogging. So blogging is not a great keyword for page. So you want to do something that's not that generic. It's not that vague. And also think about ambiguity. So I was talking to a business coach today, and I said to him, you know, coaching would not be a good keyword, because, or coach is not a good keyword, because is it coach the brand? Is it coach the thing with an engine and 4 wheels? Is it coach like Coach Carter, like somebody who trains sports? So, you know, it's really ambiguous for a kind of dumb machine. So think about that. And you don't want one that's like so competitive that you're never, ever, ever going to win. So there is a little bit of a trick really to picking a keyword. And I think it's really honing in on the intent. When you're optimizing a page, you want, and it's easier if you're kind of doing a service page, because you want your keyword to be something that's to do with the service that you're offering. So you can get an idea of what your keywords could be by looking at what other people are asking in Google. So you can kind of tell the intent of how that keyword is. So if I type in blog writing, for example, Google's really understood here. And obviously, you know, it sounds obvious to us, but it's really understood that this is for people who want to write a blog. So, you know, it sounds obvious, but you just need to remember that you're working with a dumb machine. So you need to make sure that you are, you know, really spelling it out. So when it comes to optimizing a web page, I always say this, if it's not optimized, then you might as well not have bothered putting it up, because the bots, they can crawl it, but they'll kind of figure out themselves what they want, what they think it's about. You can't tell Google in like with no kind of doubt what this page is. You can't say kind of empirically this page is for this keyword. It doesn't work like that. Google figures it out itself. And that's where the optimization comes in. You're kind of edging your bets on that. So an optimized page, these are all the different elements of optimization. And don't worry, we are going to look at these one by one. And I'm not going to read it out to you. But there's kind of a few different bits that you need to make sure that you're checking, you know, checking off your list before you can say this page is optimized. So the first thing is your SEO title. This is not the same as a page title. So it's the bit that sits in Google at the very top. And these kind of, it needs to have a keyword in it. You would put your keyword at the beginning, and it should be 70 characters with spaces. Any longer than that, and it tends to get cut off. In Yoast, you edit it here. So you would literally just kind of hover where title and page is, click here, delete this, and then you just type it in here. And then you get the separator and the site title, which in this instance is a hyphen, and then discovering days. You could delete all that if you wanted and just rewrite it in. But that tends to be set up in Yoast. In Yoast, it's set up in the settings. So your page title should never be home or about or whatever. You know, it needs to be something that tells you what that web page is about, and it should have your keyword at the beginning. So I'm just going to pop out of this presentation, and I'm going to show you a real life example, if I can pop out this presentation. So here you go. I've logged into the back end of the GrowTraffic website, and I'm going to show you how we've optimized this page. So I'll kind of, you know, keep nipping back and forth. Excuse my ticking clock. I like to feel stress at all times. So we've built this website using a page builder. So you might see this when you log onto your website, but you might see the actual page here. If I want to edit the page content, I'm going to click here, edit with page builder. In this instance, it's Brizzy. But I'm not going to. So we use all-in-one SEO. There's no real better than the other. We use all-in-one SEO because it gives you a little bit more control, and we know what we're doing. Yoast, I think, is perfectly good. So you can see here, our keyword is going to be, I think, based on looking at this, it's going to be something like award-winning digital marketing agency. So my page title, this is the about page. This is about us. So my page title is not about. My page title is our award-winning digital marketing agency in Lancashire and Yorkshire, GrowTraffic. So I've got here the separator, the site title. It's a little bit over. It's 70, but you know, we kind of figured that's what we're going to go with. It, you know, we could make it 70 and get away with it, but we thought we'd rather have the GrowTraffic cut off and get the award-winning digital marketing agency in Lancashire and Yorkshire in there. So that's the page title. So it's dead important that you have it with the keyword at the beginning, and it's got and it kind of tells them what it is about. Next, we go on to the meta description. So this is a little bit of information that shows up underneath the title in Google. So it looks like this in Google. It's not a ranking factor. So you won't get kind of, you know, ranking juice points kind of thing for putting your keyword in here. But what it does do is it helps Google understand what the page is about. And it helps to draw people onto your website. So it's kind of the bit that people read when they're deciding if that's what they want to, you know, the page that they want to visit. It should be 120 to 150 characters with spaces. So again, if it's any less, you know, you're kind of wasting your opportunity. If it's more, then it's going to get truncated. And that's not the end of the world, because we do see websites ranking organically at number 1, 2, 3, and they've got truncated meta descriptions, and that's okay. Sometimes you can put the first paragraph in here. Sometimes you can write something bespoke. I generally have it as an overview of the page, include a call to action, and I put my keyword in it somewhere. So it's really important that your keyword goes in here somewhere as well. So if I just hop out of here and I show you on the GrowTraffic website, it's here. So it's meta description. Sometimes it's called snippet. Sometimes it's just called description. It all means the same. So we've said where we're based. We've said we're an award-winning digital marketing agency. So that is our keyword. So there it is. And then we've put a call to action in as well. Find out what makes us different here. So I'm actually going to go ahead and I'm going to add in the focus key phrase here. Now, you don't have to do this because, like I say, you're not telling Google what the keyword is. You're hoping that it picks up what you've suggested. But especially in Yoast, if you add in your key phrase, then it helps. Then it gives you a traffic light score, so it can help you figure out how well optimized your website that page is. So it can be really useful. Or sometimes it can confuse things. I always do it. I find it easy. You know, I find it useful. Because here it's telling me page analysis. So is my meta description a good length? Have I got a good amount of content in my internal links in there? And what can I change? I'll come on to external links in a minute. So I've done my meta description and I've done my page title. I'm happy with those. So let's see what's next. Okay, H1 and H2 tags. H stands for heading. Just get your head around that first and it instantly demystifies it. An H1 tag is what I call the big daddy of the page. It's the main title of the page. Most often this is put in by the code. So if I show you on the GrowTraffic website, about is my H1 tag because I've put it in here as I was building the page. So I don't need to add in, you very rarely need to add in an H1 tag, and you want one H1 tag on the page, one H1 tag. If it can contain your keyword, great. If not, that's okay. Sorry, someone's just trying to enter the room. So that's fine. So you don't often need to change it. Now, I want to make sure that my key, sorry, I was talking about, sorry, that really threw me, somebody trying to enter the room and now I can't even remember what my name is. Here we go. On a page, it's very difficult to get your keyword into an H1 tag. You could do it. I could do about our award-winning digital marketing agency. I'm not going to do it because it will change the slug, which is the URL, which is this bit. And I don't want to change my URL because then I'll have to do a redirect. And that's a whole nother level. That's off-page SEO. So we don't want to do that. So, don't be changing your H1 tag unless you're prepared to put in redirects, which generally speaking, you're not. But I'm going to look at my H2s. So now I need to go into the page and make sure that I've got some H2s. So just click edit. So your H2s are subheadings. And this kind of says to Google, this is the keyword. It's a semantic. So this is my H1 tag and I can't change it and I'm not going to. This here is my H2 tag. So in this page builder, I'm going to click on it and I can click here to settings. That's set as an H1. So I'm going to change it to an H2 because that's dead naughty. So that's a good job I checked. So it's just here, HTML tag H2. I could change it to an H3. I could change it to paragraph. If you're using these as a way to style your headings, stop it. It's naughty. You want these to be tags. It will style your headings. But I've styled this heading through the actual page builder. I've picked the size and the color and the weight and the line spacing and everything through here through the actual design tool. So I've checked that it's there. So that's now an H1. So an H2. So I'm happy with that. I'm just going to update that. And now I want to make sure that there's a couple of other H2s and no more H1s. So I check that, that's an H5. I'm going to change that to an H3 because Google loves a hierarchy. So ideally, if you've got an H1, then you've got an H2 underneath it, then you've got H3s, and you don't jump straight to an H5 because why would you have a heading 5 when you've not had a heading 3 and 4? So now I'm going to check here, that's an H2. Now this is the same as this heading. It's got the keyword in it, award-winning digital marketing agency. So that's okay, but I'm kind of missing an opportunity to use a semantic keyword here. So I'm going to change this header to make it so that it's slightly different. So I'm going to use just a semantic, an award-winning, a digital marketing agency that wins awards. And I obviously need to change that. Dali's giving himself a little name check there. So here we've got another semantic, SEO services, and I'm going to check that that's an H2. Now that's an H3. So I could leave that as an H3, no problem, or I could change it to an H2. I think I'm going to change it to an H2. And here, yeah, so I've got SEO in there, and then here, digital marketing agencies. So can you guess what this should be? I'm going to make that an H3. There we go. Because I've got my H2, and I've got my H3. Does that make sense? And then here we've got another one. So I'm literally just checking. And it's definitely worth it if you've had a developer build your website that doesn't understand SEO, because they tend to use H1s with abandon and, do like this where they've put H5s. I think this has automatically done it. So I'm just going through and just updating these. And then I've reached the end of the page. So that's your H tags done. So let's have a little look now. So yeah, H1 is the page title. Don't add it in yourself. And then you can have a keyword variant in your subheading with an H2. If you're building it, if you're writing your page in Word, you can actually just chuck these in. If you mark them up in Word as an H1 or an H2, then it will automatically, WordPress will figure that out when you copy and paste it over. Okay, alt text. often overlooked, very important. So alt text is a way that your web page becomes accessible. So it's making sure that people who have got visual problems, visual disabilities, can still understand what your page is about. So if they've got, text readers reading out the page to them and it comes to an image, it's to describe what the image is. So a bad example here is playground equipment to suit children of all ages, because that's not what this picture of. This picture is of a child in a blue top, smiling and looking off in the distance. So it needs explaining. Picture of a child in a blue top, smiling and looking off into the distance. And then you can put your keyword in if you want, to illustrate page by discovering days on playground equipment to suit children of all ages. So if I show you what that looks like on the GrowTraffic page, this is where I find out there's no images. So I'm going to chuck an image in. Let's see, where should we put an image? Let's put a pretty picture here. So I'm going to put a little block in here. And I want to put in an image. So I'm just going to drag it in, and most page builders work like this, to be fair. Click on the image and it should let me choose one. Here we go. Image. So I'm going to go into my media library and I'm going to find an image. Now don't worry, I'm not going to make you sit through me finding the perfect image. I'll just see if I can find one of my lovely team, which I'm sure I will be able to. And it is important that you pick the right image. And if you've got pictures of people kind of smiling, faces, all the better. It does tend to like this. Here we go. I'll put a picture of Aubrey doing her work. So my alt text, you add it in here. So it's going to be a photo of a toddler at a desk pretending to work at an award-winning digital marketing agency. See how I've got the keyword in there and I've explained what the image is. So here we go. Here's Aubrey thinking she's doing a good job. Actually, she's being a nuisance, and we're just going to put her there, update that. And there we go. So I've put my image in. Okay, what do I want to do next? It's usually a good idea to just run through your media library. If you've got a spare kind of 20 minutes, lol, as if anybody ever has a spare 20 minutes, just run through your media library and stick an alt text in. There's no character limit. It's good that each one is unique. So we also need to make sure the image has got the image title has got a keyword in it. Now this is a ranking factor. So the way you would do this is you would right click on the image of on your computer to rename it before you upload it, and you literally just right click and here it says rename, and that's it. And then you would make each title unique, stick a keyword in, and make sure there's no character limit, just make it relevant, include a keyword, and then you upload it. And that is really important. So the next thing you need to do is make sure there's some links. Now, internal links, say to Google, this page is also important. And if you can put your link anchor on a keyword, all the better. So for example, if I was linking to another page about wooden playground equipment, I would put the keyword here. And to do that, you just literally highlight the text and click the little paperclip. So putting if I show you on the GrowTraffic website, so putting the link on a keyword is really important, because it's giving Google an indicator of what the other page is about that you're linking to. So for example, if I here want to link to, I'm sure there's a page on this website about social media marketing. So I'm going to highlight it. I'm going to link. It should give me an opportunity to search. No. So I'm going to go to the GrowTraffic website. And I'm going to get, oh, it's just taking its time. I'm going to have a little look at our social media marketing page. And when it's decided to load, give it a minute. Here we go. So now I've got the link. So I'm just gonna, what's it? Where has it got that link? So I'm gonna just highlight it, click the little thing, put my link in there. So that now links to that page. Now I've got that on the anchor rich, on the keyword rich anchor text. I could do the same again for PPC. And you want to have maybe like 3 or 4 internal links on each page, linking to really relevant pages. And the other thing to think about is that every single page on your website needs to have a link going to it. You can do this sometimes in the footer. So if you've got terms and conditions pages, it's absolutely fine to do it in the footer. And if not, you know, just kind of go through and make sure that every page has got a link to it. Not all on one page. You know, I'm not going to link to every page on the website through this one page, but generally speaking, like across the whole of the website, every page needs a link. So that's internal links. External links are important because they're saying to Google, I've done my research. I know what I'm talking about. If I'm selling SEO, I've maybe linked to some other SEO agency websites that have got expert opinions or good thought pieces. You don't necessarily want to do it on your web page. You know, it's more for blogs, but you can do it, you know, if you're kind of quoting things, or you've got information that you want on that you just kind of want to verify, especially if you've got awards or accreditations, then you want to put a link to that on your page. So just update that. I like to save as I go. And so that is a page optimized. So I'm just going to go back and have a little look at it and check I'm happy with it. So have I got calls to action? Yeah, I've got them here. Get in touch. I've got plenty of buttons that people can click. I've got a map. I've got view our services. People can go through to get in touch with us. Plenty of calls to action. I've got my H2 tags. I've only got one H1 tag, very important. I've got, if I just exit and go to the dashboard, give it a minute. Give it a minute. So then I've got my snippet, my meta description. I've got my page title. And I am happy with that. So I'm going to click update. And that is my page optimized. So that's it from how to optimize a web page. I'm just going to finish off this presentation and then it's done. And then you can go about your merry way. So this is the Grow Skills package. If you are watching this webinar, chances are high that you've seen the Grow Skills package. But for £60 a month, you get all this amazing stuff. And for an extra 200 quid a month, you get 2 hours of us in your business. Who wouldn't want me in your business? There's loads of ways you can get help, though. We've got GrowTraffic Figures It Out Facebook Live every other Friday. It's 30 minutes. It's 5 top tips that you can take away and implement into your business straight away. We also do Shooting the Shit, which has nothing to do with SEO. It's just feminism in business, and it's just fun. So come along and have a look at that. Obviously, you know about Grow Skills. We are on every single social media channel that has ever been invented. So come and have a little look at us. Our Pinterest in particular has got quite a few good guides. On our website, growtraffic.co.uk, there are a million blogs, almost literally. And on the Grow Skills website, if you remember, you can log in and have a little look at all the guides. We also do one-to-ones, we do consultancy, and we do marketing support as well. So get in touch with us, info@growtraffic.co.uk, or you can hit me up directly, HW, Hannah Weinhold, @growtraffic.co.uk. And that is it. Thank you so much for joining me. We'll be doing another Grow Skills the same time next month. So it's always the second Thursday of the month, I do believe. No, first Thursday of the month. And next time, it's about something entirely different, which will be good, but another way that you can improve your SEO and digital marketing. Thanks very much for joining me. Goodbye.